Hey, Skywalkers!
We are live! Woohoo!
Again, today on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah! Super fun. There we go. Oh, there we go. Now we're lined up. You can see the Forces of Destiny characters and a mask right there I'm working on.
And the half-hung-up Skywalking banner.
Oh, can you fix that? I guess you can't. Or just take it all the way down because it looks weird.
Well, I can hang it back up.
Yeah? You don't have to now if you don't want to. It just looks funny. And while you're doing that, I will share with the Skywalkers that we are going live. Woohoo! Oh, and there's someone who has joined us. Yay! Let's see. I'm going to share that we're going live. YouTube. Welcome, Skywalkers. All right.
Dang it.
Oh, did it come down all the way down? Well, that looks better anyway.
I'm just going to hold it like this the whole show.
Okay, that sounds good.
Alright, so, hey, Skywalkers! Welcome to classic Marvel Star Wars comics.
Awesome. I think that works. How do you like that?
We need
Oh, look at that. That's pretty. That is pretty. Where is the link? Here we go.
I'm afraid to jump down to I don't want to land on the needle.
Oh, yes. Don't jump down. All right. I'm going to share that we are live right now. Whee! Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the sewing studio. We are live right now. Where are you watching from? Ooh. It's Mark Kugler.
Hey, Mark.
Now, I believe you're from Hawaii.
Maui.
Yeah. Maui, pardon me. That's
Yes.
amazing. That's awesome. Well, welcome.
Is Maui from Moana, from Maui?
Well, Maui is like a god, right? So I think it's named after that. So the island, I think, is named after the actual god. But maybe Mark knows?
Yes. Yes, to which one?
Oh, hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Courtney. All right, getting ready.
Yep.
Hi, Skywalker. Hey, Chris Alexander.
Awesome. Everyone's coming now. Welcome,
Hey.
everyone.
Demigod. So,
That's right. Like Hercules.
Is
Hercules
this the first classic Marvel most of us have tuned into?
What do you mean? I don't think so.
I don't know.
We've done it before.
Yes.
We keep asking too many questions. That's our fault.
Yeah, we haven't. I'm not sure when the last episode went out. I want to
Like
say
2
March.
months ago? Yeah.
Okay.
I would say 2 months ago.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I've done one other what?
One other classic Marvel Star Wars comics.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I know we've gone live.
Sorry. Yeah.
Did you mean to?
No, I just
Okay.
bouncing around here.
I was like, did you mean to hit me?
So you can. Thanks for everyone for chiming in to our comment thread about asking to comment on this right over here, this issue cover. And we have lots to go. And you know what? Go on there now and look at the group, and you'll see the post for this cover. And you can also respond live when we get to that part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So let's look for that cover right there. And don't respond to the thread anymore. Just respond here when we get there.
Mark
Oh,
says,
here we go.
love to see the wall sign with a fan below it. Maybe we'll do that for July. How about that?
We started something there. But why can't we get like a green screen behind us?
That would be great.
Yeah. Well,
We need
those
to look into that.
those green screens that like Chad Pennycuff have and we've seen, they're very tiny. They don't cover that much.
We'd need like 2 of them because
Yeah.
we're 2 people.
So
yeah.
you need to cover quite a big distance.
But otherwise, you can see all my sewing things. And the masks I've been working on. Actually, these are bigger than your average mask because I had a request to make them bigger for a bigger face. Anyway.
I think it's time we updated to a green screen.
Ah.
Or does anyone
Yes.
know any kind of program where
find
you
that.
see a lot of other shows have that cool border around the frame.
Yeah, we should do that.
We need to look into that.
We should do that. Oh.
Oh.
We could do that too, Chris.
Yeah, if you want to go the easy way, Chris.
So a curtain of green cloth.
The inexpensive, easy way, yeah, Chris. We could always do that.
Whatever. That's just too easy for us. I mean, come on.
Yeah, if it doesn't take a month and a half.
Borrow my green sheet. Yeah, we need that too.
It doesn't take a month and a half and a lot of hoops to jump through. Yeah, we don't have any interest in that.
So Zoom has Zoomcast. Interesting.
What's Zoomcast?
Now is that different than Zoom?
Offers. Well, we can. For Zoom, we can do virtual backgrounds, but we're not doing Zoom right now. We're doing YouTube.
Right, we're doing live.
Yeah, and that green screen is very finicky. You start moving. Plus, if I wear green, I just bleed right through.
Okay,
or
I
it
like.
bleeds through me. Same as Zoom. Yeah.
So Reynold has the best suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
See if we can borrow the volume from Filoni. The volume from Mandalorian, how they shoot. I think the volume.
Okay. Or we could.
That'd be great.
You know what? Oddly enough, that studio is just up the 405 freeway. And chances are security's kind of lax right now.
About half.
Nothing going on.
Half hour away.
Yeah. So
yeah, that is in reference to episode 4 of
Disney Gallery.
Disney Gallery.
Where you had that horseshoe.
Amazing.
That horseshoe stage with all the
Yeah.
monitors. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That would be awesome.
That'd be so cool.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
The horseshoe stage?
Yeah, let's ask. Let's ask if we can borrow it.
You can ask or
Or what?
Or you just you walk in with a clipboard and a walkie-talkie, and they just let you go.
Yeah.
Oh, those were the days.
Nowadays it's like an iPhone or iPad.
Yeah,
not a clipboard.
They need to take your temperature before you go in, blood test,
Oh
check
yeah.
your genealogy.
Yep. Okay, so shall we start this classic Marvel Star Wars comics?
Yes, yes. Looking forward to it.
I'm gonna hit record. Ask for forgiveness.
A data pad and a comlink.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Demo it.
Ask for forgiveness and just play stupid.
I like the way you guys think. Okay.
Unlike a group raid. They can't stop us all. That's right. We're gonna record classic Marvel Star Wars comics.
Yeah.
You can't put the Hoojibs down. We'll call ourselves the Hoojib Hop. That'll be the name of our club.
Aw. We already have that club name.
Maybe it'll be 2 different club names. Think of something better. Until then, here we go. Slate it. Long ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there exists a state of cosmic civil war. A brave alliance of underground freedom fighters has challenged the tyranny and oppression of the awesome galactic empire. This is their story. And that is how Marvel Comics began every 107 issues of their original Star Wars comic series. I am Richard Woloski, and I want to welcome you once again to Classic Marvel Star Wars Comics. I am here to take you through these classic stories, share memories of reading these comics as a kid, and get you caught up with these characters and situations that every Star Wars fan must know, because as we've been reading them, we see little bits of current canon borrowing from these stories. And now, here with me is my sweetie wife Sarah, who still wasn't born when these issues came out. Hey, Sarah.
Hey. Now, will we ever get to a point where there's issues that come out after I was born?
Yes.
Okay. Ooh.
Yes. At the last issue, you were 5 years old.
The last issue of the entire series.
The 107th issue of this original run.
Okay.
So at this time, you were still not born when they had published issue number 22.
Yes, but by the last issue, I would have just been able to read it, maybe.
Yes.
Yes. Wow. Oh my gosh.
And then you would have known what a Hoojib was.
And I would have loved them. All right. Well, I, as you can tell, am a comic book newbie, especially when it comes to this vintage Star Wars comic series. and it ran from 77 to 1986, as we were discussing. So each episode, I am reading these comics for the very first time, and I'm giving you my 21st century perspective on them. And also, I look at them from an artist's point of view.
Now, in this episode of Classic Marvel Star Wars Comics, we're going to cover issue 22, To the Last Gladiator. Sarah, give me a little bit of reverb.
Done.
To the Last Gladiator.
I'm going to do it in post.
No, do it now. Do
Okay.
it now. This is all live as we go. All right, this
Okay,
is
go
live.
ahead.
One more time. Minnie, what time is it? Oh, wrong show.
To the Last Gladiator!
That wasn't so hard. Now, this is the 5th chapter of this 6-part story arc.
Wow.
All right, so we're almost to the end.
Almost. All right. Woo! Well, so before we go cover this issue, let's spend a minute to catch everyone up on the story and recap the adventures from issue 21, Shadow of a Dark Lord.
Yeah,
Ready
so
for
people
this?
may have forgotten what happened in the first issue, so we'll go back and recap from the beginning of the story arc.
Oh, okay. Perfect. The crew of the Millennium Falcon was framed for destroying a ship belonging to an important Imperial family. Han Solo flies his friends to the safety of the Wheel, which is a giant casino in space. The Empire corners the rebels in there and now must destroy them before their secret is let out. Princess Leia escapes the clutches of the Wheel's administrator, Simon Greyshade, and finds Luke, who has now recovered from his trance-like state after facing his most dreaded fear, Darth Vader. Han Solo is forced to enter the Wheel's main gambling event, the Big Game, and realizes that Chewbacca is one of his opponents in a Hunger Games-like battle to the death. And then, across the galaxy on the planet Altar, Darth Vader finds the remains of a rebel information retrieval team that has been wiped out by the bounty hunter Valance. Vader realizes that Valance is searching for the same thing as him, the boy who destroyed the Death Star. Now, the race is on to see who finds him first.
Now, before we go into this issue, let's point out this comment made on YouTube by Jonathan Marquin. He says, "The wheel from Lego The Freemaker Adventures?" Nice reference there. You got that. However, it's a different wheel.
Well, and however, it's turned around because the guy, Bob Roth and Bill Motz, who did the Lego Freemaker Adventures, they borrowed the wheel name from this Star Wars comic, and we know that because we spoke with them on a previous episode.
Yeah, so different wheel. But good catch there, Jonathan.
Yes.
All right, now in this issue, Han Solo and Chewbacca team up against several competitors to stay alive in the Big Game. But they realize that, according to the rules, only one of them will be permitted to leave the game alive. Simon Greyshade, who has been playing double agent with the Empire, presents Princess Leia with a proposition. Escape with him and his stolen treasure, and her rebel friends will go free. As she contemplates her decision, she watches the main event with Han and Chewbacca and witnesses a horrible outcome. And across the galaxy, a Dark Lord is quickly making his way to the wheel because of a tremor he has felt in the Force.
Excellent. All right,
Hey,
so
You know what? Sound Propeller Patrick
Yes.
just said on YouTube that he has his original issue in hand.
Yes.
Guess what I have in my hands?
Oh.
My original issue of To the Last Gladiator.
And it's in protective plastic.
Yes, hermetically sealed. Got this when I was 10 years old.
Wow. So you didn't, when you were reading this episode, were you doing it via our iPads? And
While I was doing
this?
research?
Yeah.
Oh no, I went to the Marvel Unlimited.
Right.
Because this can't be touched by human hands ever again.
Okay.
It's
So
hermetically sealed.
that's what I meant. Like, you didn't look at this
Oh no.
to make your notes.
Oh, pshaw. Pshaw.
It's really pretty, though. Like, the colors are... What? I can't touch it?
You can touch the plastic, you just can't touch the comic inside. Okay? Chris Alexander says he has his too.
Richard, can I lick it?
How dare you? How dare you? Put that tongue back in your head. All right, this issue number 22 to The Last Gladiator, this was released January 23rd, 1979. Still way past your
Way before.
way before.
This was BS.
This is BS before Sarah.
Exactly.
This is written by Archie Goodwin, artwork by Carmen Infantino and Bob Wyacek, and cover art by Carmen Infantino and Bob Wyacek. So let's go over the cover here.
Okay.
All right, now this is what's happening. Han and Chewbacca are floating out in deep space. Chewie is holding a small round metallic shield and a laser pistol, which is pointed at Han. Han says, "There's no choice in this crazy arena, Chewie. Like it or not, you gotta kill me." Han Solo versus Chewbacca to The Last Gladiator. Whoa.
Nice.
All right, now Sarah, we always put this out on Facebook and ask all the Skywalkers to comment on the cover art, but let's hear what you have to say about this, okay? What are your reactions, your initial thoughts?
Okay, so what honestly caught my eye first is not Han Solo floating out there in space in tight pants in the middle. But the first thing that caught my eye was the Wyacek and Infantino signature, which is kind of floating there in space under Chewbacca. But it's the most prominently displayed artist signature on a piece of cover art that I've seen in these comics anyway. So I was kind of like, oh wow, I never noticed that do they sign their cover art all the time?
You're right. This is the first time I've ever noticed it being so prominent. Normally it's hidden somewhere.
Right.
And now hold on, Jonathan Marquand is asking, when was this released again? 1979.
January.
Decades before you were born, Jonathan.
Yes. Yeah. So that's what I noticed was that big signature.
Okay.
And then obviously I noticed Han's pants.
Okay.
And beyond that, Han is holding this weird like ball thing, and I thought it was like a metallic ball, and I thought it was a weapon, and I didn't know what that was. So I have a lot of questions about the cover, but overall, like it doesn't draw me in at all.
Okay.
Like for me,
Why?
this draw? Okay, so I think because a lot of the covers will have like your focal point, but then they'll have stuff around that kind of draws your eye to the focal point. So let's say they'll have like Chewie or R2 and 3PO kind of looking into the center of the thing, or they'll have like a spaceship that's like pointing to the center. Whereas in this one, you just have Chewie and Han floating in space. It's kind of a dark background, and it's a little nondescript.
Okay.
So for me, it wouldn't have, like, I wouldn't have picked it up off the shelf because of that. If anything, I would have picked it up off the shelf because of the giant Star Wars letters in bright red. So that's it.
All right.
Now for you, what?
As a kid, I just saw this as more of the same as we had just gotten from the last previous issues, and I wasn't really crazy about those. This didn't feel like Star Wars, since why would Han and what looks like Chewbacca, I can't tell, why would they be floating in space? That didn't make any sense to me, and that didn't fit into any continuity that had been set up until The Last Jedi came out. Then
Wait,
we
what?
have Princess Leia floating through space. So now all of a sudden, this cover makes a whole bunch of sense.
Okay. Wow.
I think Ryan Johnson saw this and said, hey, if Han and Chewie can fly through space, so can Princess Leia. Now, another thing, the cover art looked too much like the old Guardians of the Galaxy comic book, which I
Oh.
picked up a couple when I was a kid, and it was just too hardcore for me. And I couldn't get into it. So I'm looking at this going, looks like Guardians of the Galaxy. I'll get it for my collection, but I didn't really read it probably until a couple of years ago.
Okay. What do you mean by Guardians of the Galaxy being hardcore?
The artwork is very science fiction-y, hardcore, very dark.
Okay.
Characters just not grabbing me the way the Star Wars characters did.
Okay.
So I just didn't like Guardians of the Galaxy back then. So when they were going to make the film a couple of years ago, I thought, really? Can we go somewhere else? Let's go with another Howard the Duck, maybe? Now, it's been almost 2 years since the release of Star Wars. Why can't they get Chewie to look like Chewie?
I know.
Why? All right, with that, a lot of Skywalkers had those same kind of comments. So let's read some Facebook comments made in our group and the page.
Okay, I had to bring up Scott Bauman's comment. Epic pants, Captain Solo. I like that one.
You know what? Look at the pants. Well, the cover that everyone had seen.
Yes.
Looked a little bit. The colors look a little bit different from the actual comic book.
I agree. So the fact, honestly, the thing that draws your eye in the most is his pants, because they have high contrast going on there. Like, they have the only bright section of this cover, which is these bright yellow light on it, versus the shadow of the front of his pants. So the back of his pants are
Okay, you're noticing his pants. All right,
yes.
all right.
Okay.
Now, once again, it's Han versus Chewie out in outer space. So Michael Faulkner writes, Han could just throw a moon at him.
Oh. Too soon.
This is referencing the book Vector Prime, where a moon kills Chewbacca by falling
Yes.
on him.
Spoiler, but yes.
Yeah.
It's legends.
All right, and Eric Unkenhout, he writes, I guess Han won't be in Star Wars too.
Nice. Brian Babcock agrees with you. They still can't draw Wookiees.
Scott Bauman, he writes another comment. Chewbacca always looks like Wendigo or Sasquatch.
I think it's Wendigo.
Wendigo, okay, or Sasquatch, who is from Marvel's Canadian superhero team Alpha Flight.
Whoa!
Now, Rex Gordon, he jumps in and says, everyone who was bashing the art should know that Infantino was considered a great Flash artist. Now, we're not bashing the art. We're not saying it sucks, it's horrible. We're just saying, can't
It's a
Chewie
product of his time.
look like Chewie? And we all understand they had probably 5 minutes to do this.
Plus, and also, they could only print certain colors, too. You can't,
Yeah.
you don't have every color in the spectrum to print. So we understand that. You know, it's just fun to bring up.
But it's almost been 2 years. Someone give these Marvel artists a reference picture of Chewbacca.
Yes.
Well, then he goes on by saying, yes, he sucked, meaning the Infantino, at Star Wars, but then it was new. It was a year and a half. And there's not an easy way to draw a Wookiee at this time. Why not? Probably under deadlines. Yes, he's got a lot of fur, so a lot of ground to cover. One letter writer stated that Infantino drew everyone's jaw with a T-square. It's like a Batman jaw.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, this is all we had, and we had to wait a month. Today, some scoff at these, but I love them. And note, well, you know what? Yes, we love them too. We love them so much. And these issues that we're dedicating a whole podcast series to these comics, not only because they meant the world to me growing up, but I think everyone should know these stories and characters because they are making a comeback in present day canon, which Rex Gordon also points out here too. Note that Valance, Jackson, and Amaza pop up in the canon stuff now.
Wow. Amaza?
Yes.
Popped up?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and Jackson in the IDW comics.
Wow.
And we have Valance in the Marvel series. He's got his own series, Target Vader.
Okay.
So all these things are popping up, and every issue, don't I say, hey, this pops up in a Star Wars movie. Hence, the Cloud Riders from the first story arc of these classic Marvel Star Wars comics, which we see in Solo.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff, and at some point we have to go over the connections made from the Ewoks and Droids cartoon series.
Oh.
So I've been doing some research on those.
Wow.
And a lot of stuff we've seen in the current day Star Wars films.
Okay.
Hence the character Kylo Ren. But we're talking about the classic Marvel Star Wars comics.
Yes.
All right, let's finish it up with Alan Kalachi. He writes, Han Chewie shot first. And Jim Aston says, it's still only 35 cents.
Excellent. What are they now? Like $4.99 or $3.99?
Like $7.99 for some of these books.
But still, you can read them digitally now. You don't have to worry about mucking up the covers.
Yeah, and they're made on higher quality paper.
It's true.
All right, now, Sarah, let's get into the story.
Okay.
So, give us your initial story thoughts on this issue.
So, my initial thoughts after reading it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Initial thoughts before going into it, just some things just to set your tone on this issue.
Okay, so from the cover and from going into reading it, it looks like finally we're going to see this battle, this gladiator battle scene between Han and Chewie and all the rest of the gladiators, for a better term, in the wheel. And this was set up like, what, 2-3 issues ago? Something like that? The Death Game or something like that. And we only ever saw the very beginning of it, and then it like switched into 2 more issues that just dealt with like what was happening to Leia, or what was happening to Darth Vader, or what was happening to Luke.
Yeah.
So, or the droids. So I was very happy to see that, and in fact the first couple pages just deal with the gladiator battle here. I'm going to call it the gladiator battle because that's all I was getting vibes of when I was reading it. I'm like, ooh, it's gladiator.
So you call it the gladiator battle. I'll call it the big game.
Yes, yes. So in this battle, so I was excited, and it was a very exciting issue at the beginning here, and it's wrapped around some other stuff. But overall, I really like that we finally got to see this gladiatorial games that they've been hyping since the very first issue of this 6-issue arc.
Okay. Now, for me, this has been a very long, drawn-out story arc. Every issue contains a lot of exposition, since the plot is very convoluted with double agenting going on. There's a lot going on here. And as a 10-year-old, I would have loved if they just rehashed the events on the Death Star instead of the wheel.
Okay.
I would have been fine with that.
Right.
As an adult, I appreciate the writers trying their best to give us a story with very many layers, which is great. And if Vader was the main antagonist, I think that would have been even better for a story like this. And I know they didn't want Vader in every issue. They were really spacing him out, and he is in this story arc. But I want to see more of him instead of these little insignificant bad guys. And really, the only bad guy that makes a recurring appearance is Valance.
Okay.
So we know that they're never going to be as powerful as Vader, and really they shouldn't. And since so much time is spent on explaining what just happened, I really think there are 2 solid issues of just backstory.
Okay.
So they could have done like 2 offshoot issues that explained everything, and had a very tight 3-issue arc.
So you're saying, was this issue a backstory issue, or like the previous 2?
They're every one of these, except for the first one. The next couple of issues have all been so heavy with backstory because this is a very convoluted plot, and there's a lot of storylines going on.
And coming out once a month, that's really hard to keep track of.
And plus, these are meant for 8, 9, 10-year-old kids, so you gotta explain to them, especially, and once again, with such a convoluted plot, you gotta really hit them over the head with what's going on, or they're gonna get very, very lost.
Okay.
So this should have been at least a 3-issue story arc, and just kept it very tight.
Okay. I see your point, but I don't think that I think this issue was one of the ones that really forwarded the story a lot and didn't have a lot of backstory. So I appreciated that.
Okay, this is where we agree to disagree.
I think so.
Very, very much.
Okay.
All right, now let's flip the cover and get to the splash page.
All right, which is this guy.
Yeah, so
more of Han in space.
So Han, Chewie, and the other combatants are floating out in space. However, as the narration reads, it looks like deep space, but that is an illusion. Despite the floating planetoids, what is called planets? Despite the floating planetoids, the shimmering star field, the zero gravity, this is just an arena.
Nice.
So Sarah, go ahead and explain to us what we're looking at.
So the splash page is kind of a rehash almost of the cover, and except this time you see a little more aliens with Han and Chewie floating in the non-gravitational area, the 0G, right? Floating in space. And you see them both holding these these silver things, but it looks like they're shields. So they're actually holding shields in their hands, and they're holding guns in their hands, which we later find out are like ray guns. Interesting.
Ray guns? What are you reading? Flash
And
Gordon
they're like
something?
ray shields. Yeah, they're ray something.
What, the guns?
Yeah.
They're blasters.
Blasters? Okay, well they shoot rays.
They shoot needle lasers.
Needle rays. That's what it is. Yes. Yeah. So, let's see. Should I read what's happening?
Sure.
Okay. It looks like deep space.
I just read that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So just explain the art.
Okay. Well, I kind of explained it now, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Meanwhile, you see some planetoids floating in the space along with all of our heroes and baddies. And at the very bottom in deep red it says, "To the last gladiator." Which,
Bam!
yeah.
Now the weapons of the gladiators are activated and everyone starts firing as quickly as they can. During the battle, Han is doing an awful lot of talking and having inner monologues and gets nicked quite a few times. Han, stop talking! Just shoot. That's a great panel right there, Cyrus, showing the sky tubers.
I love it.
Han is floating out in like deep blue space.
Mm-hmm. It's really nice.
Now Han figures out that the small ray shields everyone is carrying can deflect the blasts and act as a second weapon. Ooh, Han's smart.
Yes, but in space like this, for every action there is a reaction, which means if you shoot your gun or if you deflect something, well, you go backwards too.
Yeah, which is what happens here. Han deflects a laser blast, which propels him backwards, and he almost collides with a planetoid. Just call it planet. Until he is grabbed by the ankle by a furry hand with long fingernails. It's Chewbacca. Why he has long fingernails, we don't know. The two soon realize that they have been set up since their blasters haven't worked. Han catches the reader up now by explaining that everything is connected to them, discovering... Han catches the reader up now by explaining that everything is connected to them who... Okay, I'm letting everyone catch up. Okay. Han catches the reader up by explaining that everything is connected to them discovering that the Empire robbed the wheel, destroyed their own Imperial ship, and tried to make it look like a rebel attack.
Exactly. Yeah, that was not cool, making their guns not work.
It's like the Hunger Games.
It really is.
Yeah, alright. Now, cut to the Royal Lounge where Commander Strom is not too happy that Han and Chewie are doing very well in this game. Now, Strom and Greyshade further explain to the readers that the Empire's secret convoluted plan to take over the wheel. Alright, so...
That's true, but for me I appreciated that because it was, once again, it's a little...
You need it, okay?
Yeah, you need it.
First you have Han and Chewie catching the reader up on their situation. Now you have Strom and Greyshade catching the reader up on their sub-story.
Right. But what's really funny is... I really like this part. So... Hold on, where is it? Oh, so Strom and Greyshade, they've struck up a partnership, even though it is not quite on the level. And so Strom says to Greyshade, "Greyshade, each time I think this uneasy partnership of ours was a mistake, you come up with an impressive bit of chicanery to prove me wrong." What is chicanery?
No idea.
Chicanery. Everyone, look it up, SkyTubers.
Yeah, that's... Really, Archie Goodwin, come on. What 10-year-old knows that word? Alright, Strom realizes this partnership with Greyshade was a mistake. Greyshade tells him to wait it out since Han and Chewie will die in the game, so they won't ever be able to reveal the Empire's secret plan.
But Strom just wants them straight up assassinated? That's not the right word.
Strom just said, just get rid of them.
Yeah.
They're right there. Just shoot them. And Strom's like, yeah, let's play this out because he's got his own plan going.
Yes.
All right. A moment later, Strom suddenly feels woozy and drops. Greyshade had drugged him. See, he ain't playing by the rules.
Okay, Jonathan Marquand comes through. chicanery is the use of trickery to achieve a political, financial, or legal purpose.
All right.
Excellent.
Great. So they used it in the right context,
Yep.
but just not for the right audience. This is the first time I've ever seen or heard that word.
Yes.
All right. Now,
Chicanery.
after all that, it is time for a commercial break. And this commercial break is being brought to you by Hostess Twinkies. And this comic tie-in is titled Spider-Man Puts Himself in the Picture. Now, Spider-Man witnesses the new supervillain on the block, Photo Man.
Uh-oh.
That's the best I could do,
That's
Photo
a
Man.
terrible name for a villain.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like a good guy? Is that a bad guy? In this case, it's bad.
He won't take your picture, but he will take your valuables. And we see Photo Man taking a picture of a couple walking down the sidewalk, and the flash on his camera immobilizes the victims.
So I guess at that point, when they're immobilized, he goes and he steals all their valuables.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You see, you got it. You got it.
Okay, but before that happens, Spider-Man comes and convinces Photo Man to take his picture. But then, Spidey is crafty, and he fools Photo Man by acting immobilized.
Mm-hmm. At that point, Photo Man reaches in and takes a pack of Twinkies from Spidey's belt.
Now, is it his belt or his pocket that we could never see?
Well, there's a piece of the spider webbing that goes around his waist.
Uh-huh.
And it's not really a piece that you can move.
Now,
It's not a belt. It's just part of the design.
Is this on your phone?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yes.
Because, Skywalkers, we need to see what you think of this, because I was, like, floored. I was like, holy cow, Spider-Man has pockets.
You're breaking continuity here. You know what? Maybe in the classic Spider-Man comics, that belt part did move. But why would Photo Man want Twinkies that was smashed inside of Spidey's suit? I'm sure they're all sweaty and gooky. Ugh.
Look at that, Skywalkers.
I said I was showing all the Skytubers that panel. Does that make any sense to you?
I think it's a pocket.
Doesn't make any... No, he's pulling that belt.
No, it's a pocket.
Maybe it's a pocket in that belt. All right, just then, Spidey slings his web and captures Photo Man, who says, "Guess I'll hang around here for a while." Insert laugh track. Because he's hung there because of Spider-Man's webs. And Spidey says, "Smile and say, Twinkies, cakes, Photo Man." Way to be a shill.
All right, now hold on a second. Did you ever call Twinkies cakes?
Never. It's like people on the inside of Disney can't call it Galaxy's Edge. They've got to call it Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, right,
And people
right.
inside of Lucasfilm can't call Baby Yoda. They got to call him the child.
Right.
So in this ad, he's always got to refer to them as Twinkies cakes. That's the official name.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, I'm just... The thing I take away from this is that Spider-Man has pockets.
Wait, who's this on YouTube? Mark?
Yes.
Mark Kugler says Spidey has got Batman utility belt envy.
Nice.
Oh, I love that Batman utility belt. I could just do so much. All right, so did that Twinkies ad just make you think? Did that just help your day? Are you now a better person because of this?
I am.
Okay, good. That's all I want to hear.
All right, hold on. Break while I try to plug this in.
No. You mean that Spider-Man comic didn't change the way you thought about life?
The universe and everything?
Yeah, it did for me. I suddenly see everything so different. That one. Someone wants to take your picture? Don't let them.
Sorry, Skywalkers.
All right, hold on. We're plugging in the phone.
Oh, no! Okay, there we go. Okay.
Joshua Jordan says, even the Ghostbusters didn't call them Twinkies cakes. Nice. All right, now back to our story. Cut to Luke, Leia, and the droids following the whale security force to the docking bay. We know this is the docking bay because why, Sarah?
Because there's a giant red arrow pointing to it.
Yeah, yes.
Like in the previous episodes. I say episode, but you guys know what I mean.
Issues, yeah. I'm not sure why they need to paint big, giant red arrows. Because they know where to go. They know where direction they're heading in.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's for the reader. I don't know, but that's really confusing. Now, it's Luke and Leia's turn to catch readers up with Gray Shade's secret plan, which is to steal large profits from the Empire, who framed the rebels for the crime of attacking the Imperial ship belonging to the Tag family.
Wait, what? You lost me at, this is Han and Leia's chance to catch readers up at...
Yes. So they go through a lot of exposition to catch the readers up on another point of view of this very convoluted story. Now, the docking bay doors quickly open to reveal the security force.
Wait, don't you mean the Green Army men?
Yes, that's what they look like. They just need those platforms connected to their feet.
Uh-huh. I love it. I love these outfits so much. Like, I would want to cosplay as the Green Army men.
That would be my ultimate favorite costume if anyone ever did that.
Aren't they cool? Yes. Jonathan says love their uniforms. Yes. I think they're amazing.
A security guard says to Luke, "We're the Senator's hand-picked elite, farm boy. Do you and your friends truly imagine we could be followed on our own territory?" And the narration reads, "But despite the clothes he wears, Luke Skywalker hasn't truly been a farm boy since the Battle of the Death Star."
Dun dun dun, and look what happens! He starts rolling and running around and shooting at all the dudes, and it's these two panels that are super fun. I love the action in these.
Mm-hmm. Why would he call him a farm boy? Does he know what farm boys in Tatooine look like?
I don't know.
I don't
That's
know.
a good question.
Now, Luke yells to R2 to get out of there to save the tape. And apparently R2 has been recording everything that's been going on to clear themselves. Luke does some kind of tuck and roll gymnastics, and he blasts all the guards.
But, hold on. I have to read the blasters. Foom! Fato! Voo!
That was very good, sweetie.
Thanks.
They didn't go pew pew.
No, they went voop! Pajam! Vert!
Just then, Grayshade appears and tells Leia they should just arrange a truce. And Leia says,
"In our Senate days, I prided myself on seeing through all your schemes. But right now I'm quite confused about just who you're after. But right now I'm quite confused about just what you're after."
Yeah, that makes all of us. Then Grayshade says what we feared the most. "Don't worry, princess. I'm about to explain." No more exposition. But before he can tell us, we cut to a Star Destroyer, piercing the doppel-distorted heavens.
That looks pretty cool. That's a neat panel.
Okay, why did they write that? Piercing the doppel-distorted heavens.
Because as we've learned, these 1970s comics have a lot more... they're a lot more about telling rather than showing. Even though they're comics, and they should be drawing.
The wordplay.
I know. I'm sorry, but
All right.
That's how it is.
But you know what? It made an impact, so there you have it.
Yes.
Darth Vader. Oh, he's back, and he is urging the crew, led by Captain Wormus, to get to the wheel as soon as possible.
Back in blue.
And for some reason, Wormus tells Vader to be reasonable. They're going as fast as they can, and they're torturing the warp drive.
Now, who is this to talk back to Vader? I know in the last issue he really talked back to Vader.
By Wormus.
Yeah.
All right. Vader wants to get to the wheel lickety-split because he felt Luke through the Force. And this is what made Luke lose consciousness in the beginning of this story arc. It was too much for him to be that close to Vader as he was tapping into the Force when he was training, and went into a trance. And Vader felt that. Mm-hmm. Vader thought that he was alone in the Force, but now he knows there is another.
Ooh. Yeah, it's funny. It's worth a dozen of these vessels to learn who possesses even a touch of this power I thought was now mine alone.
James Earl Jones, is that you?
Now wait a second. He knows it's not his power. He's Anakin Skywalker. He was brought up in the Jedi and the Clone Wars. Come on.
Well, we're reading it from a 1979 point of view.
They didn't know about the Clone Wars.
I know.
I know.
All right, now the moment you've all been waiting for. Vader force chokes Wormus for questioning him. Wormus, you had that coming. Didn't you see Star Wars? And Vader says, drop to your knees and crawl. Crawl to me. You lack the stamina of a Kobarian swamp dog.
Ooh.
Uh-oh, it's time for a Fatum fast fact.
Oh, sweet.
Yes, and Fatum, that's the sound you generally hear when a laser hits something heavy. So you're in the store. So now this is a very deep cut fast fact. Because we said Fatum.
Okay. Also, you're borrowing fast facts from something, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
The Office Ladies!
All right, now, the Kobarian swamp dogs, well, these later appeared in the short story Hondo Anaka's Not So Big Score, which appeared in a Star Wars Insider written by Jason Fry.
When was this?
I don't know.
Okay.
So, once again, they're borrowing from these classic Marvel Star Wars comics for current day Star Wars canon.
Love it.
I've been saying this since the very beginning of this podcast series.
Mm-hmm.
Back at the Wheels docking bay, Greyshade and the Princess are negotiating. In exchange for letting her friends go, free and exposing the Empire's plan, he gets her. Greyshade says, under normal circumstances, as in our Senate days, you never gave me the time to make you love me. Does he not understand how this works? Okay. I'm merely creating circumstances where you can.
Okay. Oh my god.
All right, break it down, Sarah.
Okay, so Greyshade has been reading way too many romance novels. Because this is what always happens in romance novels. There's the guy and the girl, and they're like from separate worlds, and somehow they're thrown together in a situation where they can't break apart, and they end up falling in love and making love, and it's romance, and it's woo! So this is what Greyshade has in his head, and whoa. There's got to be some fanfic of that.
Well, you know, he's got to get her one way or another. And hey, you know what? I've got to give him lots of props for trying.
I know.
All right, trying every which way. Maybe not the best ways, but at least the man never gives up. And that's what you should take away from this. Never give up on the woman you love.
I just find it hilarious that he thinks that just by spending time with him that she'll fall in love, like in a small enclosed
Sarah,
space.
Have you seen his mustache?
Well, you know, it's all about the collar, honestly.
Oh, the Doctor Strange cape and collar?
Yes.
And that tight Marvel suit
Sure.
from Captain Marvel?
Sure.
Okay. But that's not all, because Greyshade also throws in Han and Chewie's circumstance in the big game as a ticking clock on his offer. All right, now.
Okay. Hold on, I have to
Right.
show them the artwork
So
here.
showing the SkyTubers all the artwork.
All right, so down below, you can see Greyshade, and then you can see Leia. Look at that panel of Leia. Oh my god.
Look at her eyebrows.
I don't know who
They're
that
so
Leia
pointy.
is. And her crazy, like, cut glass cheekbones. And then that's Greyshade right there. I'll find is there a better picture of him? Oh, well, sort of. That?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Sarah's
hold on.
showing everyone Greyshade, Captain Strange shade.
There you go. Right there.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, his haircut is classy, Jonathan says.
Yes.
Oh, Jonathan is asking, can we see the mustache?
Well, yeah, I just
Oh,
kind of showed him.
okay.
There's not very many good. Oh, here. Oh, okay. Here we go.
Get that 70s
bigger.
Burt Reynolds mustache.
Look at that.
All right. Meanwhile, Han, Chewie, and a Tyloon Night Soarer are the only gladiators left. It's time for another Fatum Fast Fact.
Whoa!
A deep cut fast fact. John Jackson Miller used these Night Soarers in Knights of the Old Republic 40 and 41 as a tribute to the work of Archie Goodwin.
Oh, cool!
Isn't
Wait,
that awesome?
okay, so Tyloon Night Soarer. So this, let's see,
Right there,
which one?
the guy with the wings.
Oh, that's okay.
He's like a Minoc man.
The blue guy with the wings.
Yeah. So John Jackson Miller used those for his Knights of the Old Republic series.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep going, Lucasfilm. Keep going. Now, Han manages to kill the Night Sorcerer, and now it's just he and Chewie.
Uh-oh.
And since there can only be one winner in this big game...
Wait a minute. He doesn't kill the Night Sorcerer yet.
Oh, yeah, he does. Right
No.
there. Right there.
No, he doesn't kill it because... let's see.
He kills him. Because the planet destroys them.
Okay.
All right. Now, since there can only be one winner in
No. Because Han says there can't be two winners in this so-called game, old buddy.
Right.
And you stand the best chance of coming out on top against that Night Sorcerer who is still alive.
Well, then he blows him up.
Particularly since I've taken out the last death trap, so he can't trick you into it. So the Night Sorcerer does not blow up with the death trap, the planetoid. He's still around. He's floating around. We never see him again in the comic.
Well,
but
then that
he's
needs to
still
be explained a little bit better because it looks like Han blew up the planetoid behind the Night Sorcerer.
Yeah, no.
Now it's just... Well, then that's misleading then.
It is,
because look at the title of the book and the cover art. We see
know.
just the two of them. So that's very misleading.
I know, but Richard, you have to read.
Believe
in
me.
order to
Oh,
understand
no.
that
Oh,
the
don't
Night-
even go there. I researched these. So I think you're the one who's a little bit wrong there.
No, I'm not. The Night Sorcerer is still alive.
Okay, well, look at that explosion.
I do see the explosion, but the words that Han is saying, I'm not making those up.
Mm-hmm.
You stand the best chance of coming out on top against that Night Sorcerer.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying to Chewie. So he said, Chewie, you gotta blow me up. Or you gotta shoot me.
That's not the way I see it.
And then they stare. Longtime companions, inseparable partners.
But then why wouldn't this Night Sorcerer destroy... Like, they're sitting right there talking.
I don't know.
All right. So, well, maybe we'll re-edit that if necessary. I don't think it will be, though. Now, since there can only be one winner in this big game, Han has made the decision. That's hard to say. You read this part.
Okay. Well, since there can only be one winner in this big game, Han has made the decision that it should be Chewbacca and convinces his longtime friend to shoot him.
Which he does! Oh, no! How could that be? Look at this panel.
Look at this.
Oh, Han's being blasted right in the chest. There you go. Now, on board Gray Shade's yacht, Luke and Leia see the horrible outcome. Leia, she just can't stand to see anyone else peril, so she tells Gray Shade that he has won this hollow victory.
And Gray Shade gets his romance novel.
Mm-hmm. His fanfic. Now, is Han really dead? Will Leia go with Gray Shade? Will there be even more exposition to come? Well, don't miss the next issue, Flight into Fury.
And that's the final one in this arc, right?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes, it will be.
I bet it's almost as good as the Siege of Mandalore.
I'm sure it will be. The Siege of Mandalore has got nothing on this issue, Flight into Fury. All right, so Sarah, give us your last thoughts on this.
Okay, so overall, I really liked this issue. Once again, I thought that was a very exciting gladiator battle that was wrapped around the two sections of Luke and Leia. Leia kind of talking to Gray Shade, and Vader, who was on his way to the wheel. And while the cover didn't really draw me in, the story did. And, you know, like when Gladiator came out, the movie, I think it was 99 or something, right? 99 or 2000?
2000, yeah.
I was like totally into it. I loved it so much. So this really made me think of that movie and makes me want to watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that the battle itself was really imaginative. They had like the ray guns and the shields. They had exploding planetoids, and the fact that it's in zero gravity. Like, so I thought that required a lot of fun imagination on the part of the writers, and I feel like they did that very well. And I think that this issue would have been even better with today's artists who really take the time to make our heroes look like the actors we love. You know, like I think Han had a lot of really awesome moments in here, but he didn't look like Han, so I was like, whatever. But if it had been some of the artists who had done like the Star Wars series from 2015 where they just were like spot on, I feel like I would have loved it. So, but I do, after going through it, Richard, and thinking that there was no exposition, I see your point that there was a lot of exposition.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Now, I gotta say, I really appreciate Marvel trying to give us such a heavy story with so many layers. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the artists doing what they're doing, because this isn't the only book they work on. They work on like 10 books a day.
Very true.
So you get what you get, and you don't get upset. But looking over, I think someone, maybe Stan Lee, should have walked in and said, "Hey guys, let's take out 7 or 8 storylines, okay? This is for a very young audience."
Right. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I do think the art is very good in terms of like the anatomy. You can tell the artists really know the anatomy of things and people and creatures. It's just that they didn't take that up a notch to make them look like the actual characters that we know and love.
Okay. All right, now, give us your favorite line of dialogue from this issue.
Okay. All right.
There's so many to choose from.
You know what, Richard? Why don't you give us your favorite line? Because I think mine changed over the course of our talk.
Okay. All right. I love this line where Darth Vader says, "Well done, Captain. You lack the stamina of a Kobarian swamp dog." I love that because have you ever heard Vader use an analogy like that before? Or any kind of analogy? No, you never did. And I love the fact, primarily, that John Jackson Miller used this reference in a story as a tribute to Archie Goodwin. This one works on so many different levels. I love it. All right, so Sarah, do you have a new favorite line of dialogue from this issue?
Yes, I do. Because I can't help but really sympathize with Grayshade in wanting to make his own romance novel. So, his proposal to Leia is this, and it's my favorite line. "This ship can take us to places in this galaxy where they've never heard of the Empire or the Rebel Alliance. The stolen treasure just loaded aboard will assure we will never want for a thing. It will be awkward at first, but time will change that. Time and your promise. No more escapes."
What world are you living in, Grayshade? What is the color of your sky?
Oh, I love it so much.
That is just horrendous.
I read romance novels like that. That's why it's funny to me.
Mark thinks that you have a very nice Tom Kane voice.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, now for me, my favorite panel comes at the first sight of Darth Vader standing on the bridge of the Star Destroyer. Sarah, go ahead and pull that up.
Okay.
It's a low angle, very menacing. Captain Wormus is right behind him in a velvet green uniform. Yep, that's the one. And he looks a lot like Jack Nicholson. Now show everyone this panel and tell me what is wrong with this panel. There's something majorly wrong with this panel. What is it? Sarah, you always point these things out.
I feel like it's going to be something with Darth Vader's outfit, because you're very picky about that.
I love the outfit, love the color scheme, love the angle that this panel is drawn. What is Darth Vader holding?
Okay, he's holding a railing.
He's holding a handrail.
What is up with that?
When have you ever seen a handrail on a Death Star, on a Star Destroyer, anywhere?
Wow. Oh my
Oh, Jonathan
gosh.
got it. Jonathan on YouTube.
That's hilarious.
Very nice.
Wow.
And that's not even the reason why I picked that panel. I just love that low angle look.
Wow. Okay.
All right, now Sarah, give us your most
I didn't do my
Oh,
panel.
I'm sorry. Now Sarah, what is your favorite panel?
Okay, so I have two. I'm sorry.
You just get one.
No, I have two.
You just get one.
I have two and I get two. Thank you. Okay.
I guess Sarah has two.
So First of all, it's this one on page 2, which is Han in the Gladiator field, but the Gladiator field is blue, and it's against this blue background, and it's taking up like the whole page, really, or half page, and I think it's really cool. And it really shows that, and I think it would be even awesomer if Han looked like Han, and then I'd be like, oh, and I'd take that out and put it on a poster on my wall.
Yeah, but how are his pants fitting?
Very nicely. I took a moment there.
Yeah, you did. Too long of a moment, okay? Put it down. Put it down.
All right, and then I have another panel, and this is something that I showed you guys earlier here. But I really love the depiction of Luke, the farm boy, showing his acrobatic skills and taking out all the green army men. So
the wheel security force.
Exactly, and I think that was done very well. I think the artist did an excellent job of showing action and adventure in a couple panels here.
And Luke is literally doing a shoulder roll.
Yeah, and you can tell, like, just from what the artwork they have in this single panel, that's a moment in time, you can tell he just did a shoulder roll. So I really think, like, that's some masterful art.
I was going to pick that one for a second one, but I didn't want to break the rules. I follow rules. All right.
You're lying.
Yes, I am. All right, how about this? What is the most non-Star Wars moment or line of dialogue in this issue? Sarah, do you want to go first on this one?
Okay. So, first of all, it's just the art. Like Han, he doesn't look like Han at all. So that, and the Leia with her eyebrows. But the most un-Star Wars line of dialogue, I think, would have to be on page 4. Hold on.
All right, so you're going with a line of dialogue, not so much just an incident or a design.
Yes.
All right, what you got?
Oh, so this is when Han and Chewie realize that their blasters don't work in the arena. And Han says to Chewie, "Hey, Furface, I think we've been had." First of all, he wouldn't call Chewie Furface. What is that?
Because Chewie doesn't have fur in his face.
Right?
In these Marvel comics, Chewie's whole face is like been shaved.
Mm-hmm.
So, Han, can't you see that?
Yeah.
There's not one single blade of fur on his face.
And the fact that Han says, "I think we've been had," just
Okay.
wouldn't be something he would say.
All right. For my most non-Star Wars moment or line of dialogue, I'm going back to that Darth Vader panel.
Ooh.
And this is when Darth Vader says to Captain Wormus, "Drop to your knees and crawl. Crawl to me."
You think it's un-Star Wars?
It's very un-Star Wars. Very, very un-Star Wars for anyone to say, "Drop to your knees and crawl to me." Especially Vader. What? Vader would just kill somebody. He wouldn't have half force choke them. I know he did that with Maudie
Yeah.
in Star Wars, but that's because Tarkin says release him.
Mm-hmm.
This time he's got no one looking over his shoulder, and Wormus has just messed up so many different times, and he's talking back to him. Why does he need him? Just force choke him and get him out of here. He wouldn't have force choke him and then say, "Now crawl to me, crawl to me."
Okay.
Vader wants things done and moving on with his day. That's all he ever wanted.
All right.
All right, with that, let's wrap things up with a Star Wars letter column.
Awesome.
And
Now, what are Star Wars again?
This is when readers of the classic Marvel Star Wars comics would write into the editors of Marvel. In these last few issues, we've gone through the actual comic book. And yes, I did have to break the seal on my comic book. And I used white gloves and a needle and turned the pages to the Star Wars letter column section.
I was going to ask you whether you did that. Okay.
Yes, I didn't want you to know that earlier, because then you would have wanted me to open it, and it's been sealed for another 43 years.
Okay, because these Star Wars are not in the Marvel
No.
Comics, the digital version that you can get.
And they really should be. I think because they list the addresses of these people, which maybe that's got something to do with it. I don't know.
So weird that they did that.
All right, and this letter that I picked, and every issue has got about four letters people write in.
Okay.
And this one, someone writes in, and in this one, this is how
Lisbeth.
Yes. Now, this letter starts off with, "Hey guys, how's about a no prize for me spotting a boo-boo in Star Wars 18. Han says quite clearly that the Empire wouldn't hit a Tag family ship since General Tag is an Imperial fleet commander. Wasn't he on the Death Star when it was destroyed? And this was written by Lisbeth D. Becker, address 174 Lord Seaton Road, Willowdale, Ontario, Canada.
Wow.
And yes, I did look Lisbeth D. Becker up, and I couldn't find her anywhere.
Oh, sad.
No, not on Facebook. Couldn't. I did a Google search. Nothing. Now, it sounds like she is asking two questions at the same time. First, she is asking, how could that be a Tag ship since General Tag was killed on the Death Star?
I don't think she's asking that, because
No.
he could have family.
Right, but look at the. But I spent like a day and a half deciphering this letter, and then I also think she's asking, why would the Empire destroy a Tag ship since General Tag is an Imperial commander? This could go either way. I don't think it was worded very, very well.
Well, no. So what I think is that it's a ship for the Tag family.
Mm-hmm.
So she's asking that, Tag was on the Death Star when it was destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So why would they destroy any kind of Tag ship, whether it be him on it or not, since General Tag was an Imperial fleet commander?
Right. That's the second part of what I just said.
Okay.
Why would the Empire destroy a Tag ship since General Tag? And General Tag, he's that raspy voiced Imperial commander we see in Star Wars sitting at the conference table.
Right.
Now, so there's a couple of things I think she's asking. She just didn't say it that clearly.
Okay.
Now, if you think that wasn't clear, wait until you hear the answer from Marvel.
Oh, excellent. All right.
They write back, the novel and the film have General Tag on the Death Star for a conference and then departing after it was over, and probably left in haste after his humiliation from Darth Vader.
Uh-oh.
So Sarah, tell me why that answer is incorrect.
Because General Tag was not the one humiliated by Darth Vader. It was Admiral Mahdi.
Booyah. Booyah.
I know that.
And that's why I picked the Star Wars letter from the Star Wars column.
Nice.
There you have it.
Wow.
There you have it.
Well, that was pretty intense.
You know what? I'm now going to do another Fatum deep dive search and looking for Lisbeth D. Becker. Just say, break this letter down you wrote all those years ago.
I think she's asking the
41
second part.
years ago. What?
I think she's asking the second part. Why would the Empire destroy a Tag ship?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Then I went over it once again, and there's a little bit of both.
I think you're reading too much into it.
No, well, yeah, I am. All right, everyone, thank you once again for joining us on
Classic Marvel
Star Wars
Comics,
Comics, where we just went through Star Wars issue 22 to The Last Gladiator. And we'll see everyone back for the last issue in this arc, issue 23, titled More Exposition.
No.
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Flight into Fury.
Well, thank you to Rob Dellinger for our main theme Classic Marvel Star Wars Comics jingle. You can check out Rob and all he's doing at alpharhythmkings.com.
I'll take out jingle.
Oh, okay. We'd like to thank Rob Dellinger for the Classic Marvel Star Wars Comics main theme. Check out Rob and all he's doing at Alpha Ribbon. Check out Rob and all
One more
he's
time from the top.
No. Check out Rob and all he's doing at alpharhythmkings.com.
That's right, because I'm editing it.
Yeah.
Or you just read it again.
Thanks to Rob Dellinger for our Classic Marvel Star Wars Comics main theme.
Take 5.
Thanks to Rob Dellinger for our Classic Marvel Star Wars Comics main theme. You can check out Rob and all he's doing at alpharhythmkings.com.
Now, please check out the rest of the shows on the Skywalking Network,
Skynet.
including our flagship show, Skywalking Through
Neverland.
Neverland. Also, Talking Apes and Sabers and Spells.
You can find them all at skywalkingthroughneverland.com. You can also join us over on the Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon. And right now we are posting a special Skywalking Force of Fun show. It's bonus content once every week or so, or 10 days. And they are really fun. Our last one went into the wizarding world. And Richard and I got sorted and found our wands.
I'm a Gryffindor.
Yeah, don't tell them.
Oh, sorry. Maybe I'm a Gryffindor, maybe I'm not.
Maybe he's not.
Listen and find out.
Yeah, but you don't know his wand, and you don't know his Patronus, or mine. It's very fun. All right, and if you want to join us on social media, we are at Skywalking Pod for Twitter and Instagram, and also, not Periscope. Wow, this is old.
Someone needs to rewrite these notes.
And also,
on TikTok.
TikTok, thank you. Wow, what 5 years will do.
Periscope, that's for your grandparents. That is so 2017.
Absolutely. And on Facebook, we're doing a whole bunch of fun stuff in our Facebook group, like having some live watches of films and all kinds of fun things. And you can search Facebook for Skywalking Through Neverland group and request to join and answer the questions that pop up. And even if you if you're part of the group and you invite someone to come to the group, make sure that they answer those questions, because otherwise we can't let them in. You can also email us. We are share@skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
Now, what happens if they want to write a review for us, Sarah?
Ooh, well, they can go to Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or whatever podcast app they are using and review us. They are greatly appreciated, and it's really cool to know that you guys are listening.
Mm-hmm. Now, for classic Marvel Star Wars comics, this is Richard.
And this is Sarah saying,
drop to your knees and crawl. Crawl to me. Fatum.
Forp. Yay.
And there you have it, Skywalkers.
Woo!
Don't stop that. Just press pause.
Why?
There's one part I want to redo.
Okay. Well, TikTok, something from Wizard of Oz. No. What would that be in Wizard of Oz?
Oh, no, that's Return to Oz. Oh, Dark Wolf. Nice pull there.
Oh.
That's that 1985 Wizard of Oz.
Never saw it.
He was the Tin Man equivalent.
Okay.
His name was TikTok.
Okay.
And we saw him when we visited Lucasfilm. He was the prop was in the garden. And I said, look, there's TikTok.
I was looking at Hook's Hook.
Oh, okay.
I was too excited about that.
Okay.
All right, you guys.
But yeah, nice pull there. There's a lot of really nice comments and questions and stuff. Sorry if we can't read them all during our recording.
No, but they were talking among themselves too, which is cool. I'm glad
okay.
you guys are able to chat. All right.
Dark Wolf was asking, oh, is this person still alive? Lisbeth.
Who knows?
I don't know. Can't find her, so
yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thank
you got a lot of editing to do.
Us.
Not just other things.
You got editing. I got masks. It's all good.
I'm going to prepare for the next not classic Marvel, the Skywalking Through Neverland. We're going to talk about Star Wars weekend.
Yes.
All right.
Yay. And if you want face masks, go to skywalkingthroughneverland.com/face masks. Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.